Good morning. Good morning. This is the Ray Austin. This is the Austin Collab Money Talk. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to another show. August 23rd, we're streaming live on the Fishbowl Radio Network from beautiful Arlington, Texas. Also streaming live on Facebook. And I am joined by a very special guest, Miss Tami Rose. How are you doing, ma'am?
Hi, I'm doing great. How's everybody today?
Good. You know what? Before we get started, I wouldn't even be sitting here if it wasn't for this young lady.
See how God works.
Right? Exactly how it works. So when was your launch party?
It was March 4th.
March 4th.
Of this year.
Right. So March 4th of this year, and I started my show in April. And at the event, she had actually the owner of the radio station there. Was Sammy was there, then another young lady she was working with, Cheryl Boggs. She was there, and it was a really nice event. Great for meeting people, shaking hands. It was just a really positive atmosphere, positive vibe. So definitely enjoy that event. I appreciate you for having me out, because if I wasn't there, I wouldn't have got to the opportunity to meet those people. So
exactly, and
Thank you.
God set that up. It's about the law of attraction. So, and your show is awesome. So I love it.
Thank you.
I tune into it at work. So awesome show.
Thank you. I know you've been supporting me. You chime in. You chime in a lot, and thank you for the support. I definitely appreciate that.
Yes.
So got a little help here.
Difficulty.
You might even know that young man. I think y'all know.
I might know him.
So, anyways, you're doing a lot of big things. You had your music launch party, and for your ministry launch party. So, just tell us a little bit about your whole ministry and what it is you got going on.
Yes, well, the ministry is called Thirsting for Hope, and what we do is we provide a platform for people like you and I to share our stories of hope. And what you saw that night was our team of Thirsting for Hope introducing what we do, who we are, who Tami Rose is. So that night I was able to introduce my music. But our platform, I have the great opportunity of speaking with people who come from different walks of life, and they share their story of hope to empower others. So I've interviewed cancer survivors. On that night, I interviewed Tanya Stafford, who is a human trafficking survivor who is doing awesome things here in the city of Dallas. And I'm able to talk to athletes who can no longer compete due to injury. So I talk with so many great people. I also interviewed Ruthie Bolton. She is a two-time Olympian gold medalist. Ruthie Bolton, WNBA, Monarchs. So I was able to talk with her about her journey of domestic violence that people didn't know about during her triumphant time. She was going through a lot of dark days. So our platform provides that stage for you to share your stories, to inspire others, to let them know that they're not alone in their journey. So many people feel like they're alone in things that they go through. So we're doing great things in the city. We have had a beautiful night, a lot of great things coming up.
Right. So when did it all start?
It started with me as a child. So I was fascinated by stories as a kid. And, back in the day, I'm from the South. I'm from Mississippi, from a big family of spiritual leaders, musicians, singers. So I was brought up in church, and I was fascinated by the elderly in the church who would talk about the goodness of God. They would testify. And we don't see that quite often in our modern day churches. But I was really inspired as a kid, and I accepted Christ in my life at 9 years old. And I remember wanting to know who he was, who is Jesus Christ, and I wanted to share him with others. So it started as a kid, but through life and life changes moving forward, Thirsty for Hope began as I was pregnant with my daughter, who's now 19.
Yeah,
but during her pregnancy,
talk about your kids too.
Yeah. But I'll insert this here. I was pregnant with her, and the doctors told me that she would be born with Down syndrome. Brain damage. So I was 5 months pregnant. So I went through that horrible process of not being able to do anything about my situation. So, but I prayed, and I had elders in the church or people who encouraged me over the years to pray and believe God for me. And sometimes we have to do that. So throughout that process, My Hope is in God was born, which is the slogan for our ministry. And that was in 1998. So
really?
Yeah. So
dang,
God gave me that years ago.
Almost 20 years ago.
Through that experience. So, and it inspired hope inside of me. and it deposited a vision inside of me. So that's how Thirsting for Hope began.
Hey, 3 things you need: faith, hope, and love.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's good. That's great.
Definitely.
And just this past, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago when our family was in town, we were talking a little bit. Now, you talked about how it got started, but you were telling me then that, it's a lot more to it as far as, helping young women in the mentorship program. Talk about like that particular part of the ministry.
Right. So with Thirsting for Hope,
You ain't got to the music yet.
Yeah, I just want a lot of things. So with Thirsting for Hope, there are different branches of it. And our first branch that we're a nonprofit organization. So our first branch that we've launched is Daughters of Hope. And it's a mentorship program to where we inspire young women from age 13 to 29 to begin to walk in their purpose at a young age. So they won't be 40-year-old women not knowing what's going on, why I'm here, what's my purpose, what I'm supposed to do. So we're teaching them now through mentorship programs to begin to walk in hope at a young age, to be inspired to be secure in Jesus Christ and to become leaders.
Right.
So we're doing that in the community, and we're providing tools for them to be able to deal with things that they go through every day in life. So, and what they do for us, we have a conference call every 2 weeks with these young girls. So they're around the nation, they're not just here in Arlington. So they're on Zoom conferencing, and they're inside of the comfort of their homes, they're at their dorms, and we have spiritual leaders. My spiritual leader, Tanya Benton, she's an educator, and she's also a co-pastor at City of Light Ministries here in Arlington. And we teach them based on what they're telling us they need. So I think that's what we've messed up so much in the church. We teach spiritual concepts, which is great.
Right.
But how do our girls deal with life outside?
Yeah, it's a whole nother life outside.
Yes. So how are they dealing with bullying? Low self-esteem, how are they dealing with going to college or dating? So we teach them those, they tell us what they need to know. We talk about overcoming anger, learning how to forgive. We talk with them about how to identify the signs of an abusive relationship. So those are different subjects that our girls are telling us they need to hear. So we create our curriculum around what they need. So we're doing awesome things.
That's great. That's huge. We need more of that. We need more positive influence on our youth. Now, is it a certain age group?
The age group is 13 to 29.
13 to 29.
So we do break those. Yeah. We break those groups up based on, their needs, because we have young girls who are teenagers, we have young women who are single parents, we have young women who just got married, we even have young women who've been divorced before the age of 29. So we have different women that we mentor. They get one-on-one mentorship. So they have my phone number, they have the spiritual leaders' phone numbers, and they call us and contact us. So they have someone to keep them accountable and to help them on their journey.
Right. That's good. That's great.
Yeah.
Great. And if you're watching us live on Facebook, I do have a website in the link, so go check that out. You can donate support, or maybe a young lady who could use some mentorship, some guidance, or just needs to be around, positive individuals. And
that's right.
Mentorship I think that's a really, really big thing, because if you're in whatever walk you're going through, whether it's being an entrepreneur,
yes, definitely, yeah,
a teen, that mentorship is so important.
It's so important
in trying to get to the next level.
Yeah, and we're teaching them not only just the basic things, we're teaching them educationally. So we'll be having math and English and writing workshops and speaking workshops.
Right.
And also we're educating them politically, becoming a part of the voting system.
Right.
My daughter turned 18 and she was able to vote in the past election, the presidential election. So she was really excited about that. So we're teaching them at an early age how to get involved and how to make their voice count. And socially, we're empowering our women, the full body, how to apply their makeup, how to dress, how to walk, how to speak.
Yeah, you need to teach them on that.
Yeah, interview skills.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, dressing for success and social media etiquette 101. So that's one of the major things that we really have to reach out to our girls and letting them know.
Absolutely.
Social media is powerful. It can be a positive thing and definitely a negative.
You know what? I'm actually in the process of creating some more content on, social media marketing and, how it's not just, it's not just personal anymore. Like that's whatever you're putting out there is your brand. That's what people are seeing.
Exactly.
And you need to be, conscious of the type of things that you post. So that's good you're doing that. We need to collab on, because I want to create some content, especially on that financial education piece. And I know some positive young ladies who might like to get involved. So we need to
definitely employers look at social media. And you don't want to be sized up by just a mere moment of a post. So we empower them to do that. And also financially, Jeray, you can definitely help our group, mentor these young people about their financial goals. They don't know. They're working jobs, they're going to college, we're getting these student loans back, but what do I do after? What do I do with my finances? How do I manage that? So definitely, we can definitely collaborate on that. So what I do with Daughters of Hope and Thirsting for Hope, I connect with the experts. God gave me the vision. I'm the founder. But when you're the founder of something, just because you have a business or an organization, it doesn't mean that you're required to do everything. We have to network and mingle with people who can bring in those resources that we need to make what we have grow. So I believe, like you said, you come into my event attracted. It's something you're looking for, and God placed those people that you needed in your path. That's His job to do for us. He give us the visions and the goals, but we've got to put action to it. So
you're absolutely right.
And
ain't nothing gonna happen without that action.
So we have to work.
That is so important. That is one key part. The law of attraction is good.
Yeah.
You can think it and believe it.
But it's the action you put to it.
The action, faith without work is dead.
It's dead.
Yeah.
So sometimes you got to accept the invite when you don't want to accept it. So it's, you accepted the invite to come. It wasn't just an invitation to see Tami Rose of Thirsting for Hope, but it was the connection to your destiny. So, and that's why we're sitting here today. So I'm excited to be here with you today.
Absolutely. I'm excited to have you. I'm joined today by Miss Tami Rose. Her website is on there. Her ministry is Thirsting for Hope. We're just getting started, so I hope you got a few minutes. We're just getting started. I definitely got some more questions to ask you, but while you're here, I told you a little bit before when she asked me how you're doing. A lot of people, when you're working or out in public or social settings, they ask how you doing. I'm okay, I'm good, or I'm fine. And I gave her an honest answer. I'm like, first I said unbelievable, but I went on to elaborate, it was tough the past couple of weeks. Those close to me know some of the things that I've been going through as an entrepreneur, because building a business is hard. I actually missed my show last week. It was basically the first show that I've missed since I've started doing them, like I said, in April, just a month after her event. And I was just going through a very difficult time. I feel like I literally got punched in my mouth really hard and got knocked out. But hey, you have to get back up. And she said one thing, which is why I'm kind of sharing this. And I want you to just give me, your feedback, any encouragement, inspiration, because being an entrepreneur is hard, starting a business, so you need all the encouragement you can get. But I was just down, and I have the vision. Like she said, you have to put in action, and you don't never want to give up on the vision, especially if it feels like it came from God. So I apologize to everyone who's been supporting me for missing last week. And the thing that she said is that you have to show up. You have to put into action. He said, I didn't have to accept the invite. And sometimes you're not going to feel like going. Yeah, you're not going to feel like being there. But you have to show up. That's half the battle, is showing up, being in the room,
Yes.
And even if it's rainy outside, like it's a little cloudy, or, whatever the weather, just show up. That's half the battle. And a lot of times when you show up, God will say, you know what? I got you from here.
That's right.
Right. So that was kind of I just wanted to share my, just that little testimony. I'm not going to go into the details of what I was going through. Just know that everyone goes through things, and I'll let you chime in because you have a journey.
Oh, definitely.
Right.
My journey, I like to say inspiration comes through challenges. If we're not going to go through any challenges, then we won't be inspired. My life, I was raised in a small town. I was raised in a Christian household, but it was an abusive household. So I was confused about love. My mom taught us the love of Jesus Christ, and I wanted that. But then my mom and father had a rocky marriage, so it was abusive. So that's all I can remember was the abuse. So the things that you go through, you may not have purpose to want to go through that. But those challenges bring inspiration. And then when I got older, I was married at a young age. I went through a terrible divorce. I lost everything, my home, my car, my business. So those things I went through inspired. If I hadn't have gone through those things, I wouldn't be here today and be the woman that God has called me to be in this ministry. But God planted hope in me as a child. So I knew that God would be with me. He would not forsake me. And as you were saying earlier, that you went through some things. The one thing I love about vision of the future will give your present discomfort meaning and purpose.
Hold on. You got to say that one more time. Say that. Read that one more time.
Vision of the future will give your present discomfort meaning and purpose.
Yes.
So,
and I've been
but
very
the word says,
uncomfortable.
but the word says people without vision, what happens? They perish. If you don't have vision. So you've got to be willing to know that my uncomfortable space right now, if I have vision, it'll give that moment meaning. So it's not like we're so above that we're not going to go through. Everybody goes through it. The rich, the poor, everyone goes through.
Right, everyone. It don't matter your skin color.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who we are.
Yeah.
But it's about if you have vision, the vision is going to give that moment meaning. So that's what I look at in life. No matter what I go through, I've got to focus on what God has promised me. And I've got to continue to put that action to work, and you got to fight through. And you fought through. You're here today. As you knew Tami Rose is coming in. We had 11 people.
Yeah, so I had to get up and get dressed.
Yes.
No doubt.
Yeah, so just whatever it is that we're doing, there are going to be oppositions, but it comes to make us what? Stronger. So we have to know how to fight through. Right. The old Tami Rose could not have fought through the things, but my journey is what's given me strength to keep moving forward. And we still meet obstacles. Of course, I have oppositions with this vision I have that God has given me. There are roadblocks, but I just know if I just keep moving, God is going to connect me with those people to take me forward. So
absolutely.
I encourage you, keep it moving, and just know that God has your way already paid for it.
Absolutely. So we both gonna keep it moving.
Yes, we gonna keep it moving.
Keep grinding. Yes. So glad that you spending some time with me today.
Yes.
And talk a little. We kind of skipped past this. You have two very beautiful children.
Yes, thank you.
Talented children as well. So just talk a little bit about your family. You say inspiration. How have your children just kind of inspired you?
Yes, my babies, I call them babies. My son is 24.
Ain't babies no more.
No babies no more. My daughter's 19. So my kids are just full of inspiration. They're so gifted and talented. And, when you go through divorce, it affects your children. Yeah, but you have to, and you have to know, you have to instill prayer in their lives at a young age. Our kids watch us and what we do. So my kids, they're loving children. My daughter, she just started she's in school 2 weeks now. She's at Ogle Cosmetology. Okay. So she's doing aesthetics. She's so excited. She texted me the other day. She said, Mom, I'm just so excited. Every time I think about this, I just want to cry. So she's excited about what she's doing.
That's great. Because not a lot of people are always excited about what they're doing in their career. I've been there. I don't know if you've experienced that.
We all have. And one thing I encourage my children to do is do what you love, know what God has called you to do, and just start one step at a time going there. My son, he's a great musician. He's been since he was 1 year old, he was crawling in my cabinets, beating on my pots and pans. So I knew at a young age that he would be a musician. So what I did, I placed those things in front of him. So it starts when our kids are small. When you start to identify their gifts, you have to put those things in front of them. Because parents, we inspire our kids. We're the ones who give them the direction, for them to take. So my kids are awesome. My son lives in Maryland, and he's doing great. So I've just really been blessed. My daughter is my hope story. So just right through her birth this powerful ministry that God has given me. So my kids are awesome. Yeah.
Right. So this might be a little kind of off topic, but I'm gonna just go with it anyway since you just talked about this, and I think that's good. That's what you said as far as you saw the music was his gift, so you put that in front of him. Yeah. So how do you feel about kids going to college but their gift or their trade may take them somewhere else? Like, for example, your daughter's learning how to do hair. You may not necessarily need to go to a 4-year university to do that.
That's
An
right.
athlete might not need to go to a 4-year university if you talk to Ruth Bolton's basketball.
Ruth Bolton, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So for some male athletes, they might not need to go the full 4 years, or she might just be going to college just to play basketball. How do you feel about, just our youth and finding whatever their passion is? Because not a lot of schools teach specifically music or arts or theater. They just teach you math, history, and go to college, and here's business, here's, How do you feel about that?
I think education is important, and I encourage kids to take that experience of college, because when you get in college, you're going to find your way. You're going to connect with other people who are doing other things. Me being raised in a small town, McLean, Mississippi, population 2,000, had I not entered college, I may not have saw a different world. So I encourage them, go to college if that's what you desire to do, but get busy. And I told my kids, you're going to do something. You're not going to just sit around. So let's find out what you want to do. So they followed their dreams, and I gave my son a time frame. Okay, if you're going to do music, I need to see things happen within 12 months. Okay, and I also told him, at 4 years, you would have been graduating college had you pursued college. So you're in this game 4 years. It's time to make a move. So you have to keep them accountable.
Do you see progress with him?
Yes. My son works hard every day. So he called me the other day. He said, Mom, he's 24 years old. He said, I may have to move to Atlanta. I said, go for it. I said, if you were in college, you would have getting your degree by now, or a second degree. I said, and kids have to make a move. So I encourage them, go to college if that's what you desire to do, but be the best at whatever you do.
Right.
So just make sure that that's your passion. College is great because it does give you structure. It gives you accountability.
Yeah.
Your teachers are not going to hold your hand. You're an adult. You're responsible for turning those grades. You're responsible for showing up at school.
Right.
So I think college, even military, is great for structure for kids. So I do encourage education.
I agree.
I
just wanted to ask that.
Oh, definitely,
yeah, absolutely. And it is great for the people you meet and just seeing the different things.
Yes.
That's one of the biggest takeaways that I took from college, was just the relationships that I was able to build.
Yeah.
And as far as your son, I think he's going to pop. I think he's going to blow.
I do too.
As long as he stays doing what he's doing, stays focused.
That's right.
Keep putting in the
hear
work.
That, Colton? Stay focused.
Yeah,
That's
stay
right.
focused.
Yeah.
So, being an entrepreneur and reaching high levels of success and whatever you're doing in your craft, I don't think a lot of people see, that process, what you went through.
Right.
They only see, he was overnight success. But you say your son's been working for 4 or 5, 6. People don't see that part.
He's been working hard. And, the music industry is a hard industry. It really is. But he's learning every aspect. I told him, master whatever you do. If you're going to sing, master it. How do I produce the music? How do I become a songwriter, not just sing? So he's learning all those things. He knows how to engineer. He can go in that studio.
Really?
He can play any instrument in the studio. That's how he's learned. He taught himself. He can get on that board. He can produce a song. He's self-taught. So whatever you do,
amazing.
Master your craft is what I teach my kids. Be the best that you can be at it, and you have to learn from others. Get around other people so you can be inspired.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's just go ahead and stay with the music. Now, he had to be inspired with the music by somebody. And we talked about the mentorship part of your ministry. Let's talk about the music. And we got a song that I'm going to play. My girl, she got it added on. I need to pull it back up here. But we got one of her songs that I like, and it has a really good vibe, positive, good home feel. So let's go ahead and talk about the music. When did you get inspired?
Wow.
It seems like all of y'all can sing. So.
Well, we started as kids. I have 6 brothers and sisters, 4 girls and 2 boys. And my father is a singer.
Is a musician too?
He's a gospel singer. Yeah,
Okay.
He didn't play instruments, but he's a gospel singer. He started this group. Back in the day, they were called the Gospel Soul Singers. But
Mississippi?
today, Mississippi. But today, they're the Bolton brothers. So those are his brothers. They're Stellar Award-winning Bolton brothers. So they're a quartet group in Mississippi, very talented. And we saw music all the time. We were like the Jacksons, but the church going. We were Baptist Jacksons. So we had the piano. So I played a few songs. I wish I had kept that skill going, but my brother started playing piano and drums, and we sung. Our mom took us around to small churches in Mississippi, and we didn't have a choice to, like some kids, I don't want to sing. No, it was not that. It was like, you go and sing. So we would get on stage, or we stand on the porch or at different churches and just sing. So we were inspired as kids to sing. And throughout the years, God just, he took my I've always been inspired by singers like CeCe Winans, Whitney Houston. I love India Arie. I love all types of music. I love Celine Dion.
I know you do. We actually, me and my mom and my girlfriend, we ran into Miss Tami and her husband at a jazz concert. I wish that concert was just like 45 minutes long.
Oh my goodness!
That music and instrumentation was just amazing.
Yes, I love music, and when we were kids, we were not allowed to listen to secular music. Now Michael Jackson, ABC, is that secular really?
No.
But we couldn't listen to anything but church music. But I would sneak in my room, and I had this little radio, and I would play, tune into the radio station. I would sing. I would love DeBarge. Everybody, DeBarge, the Jacksons. So I was able to still connect with that type of music. I love Leanne Rimes. I love country music. So
I got some Adele on here.
Yeah, Adele. Yes, definitely. So I just
good music ain't got no skin color.
Music is not. It's inspiration. I'm glad you said that. I travel on my job, and I was traveling out last week. When I got to DFW Airport, I went into the ladies' room, and Whitney Houston was playing over the sound system. So I was probably the only African American in the restroom. Other women that were there, and we all were singing Whitney Houston.
Really?
Different cultures singing Whitney Houston. I landed in Corpus Christi. In the restroom again, Whitney Houston's playing again. People were singing Whitney Houston. I kid you not, when I got back to Dallas, Whitney was playing again. So music, it doesn't have a color. Music is inspiration to wherever you are. So yes, Whitney Houston was my inspiration. So I was able to release my solo project called My Hope Is in You.
Right.
And so this is
Put that all the way up there.
Yeah. So definitely, My Hope Is in You. That's Tami Rose.
Hey.
And you can find me on iTunes or any digital download store online. But the songs that I sung are, I know my voice was to bring healing and to bring hope and inspiration.
And I knew that inspirational feel.
And so since a child, I felt that I would inspire people. So my music had to show that side of me. So I teamed up with David Huff. He's with David and the Giants. He's originally from Mississippi, but he's in Georgia now. And he's a huge Christian artist, and he's my producer. And also I teamed up with Terrence Davis of No Hits Entertainment from Meridian, Mississippi. So they put a great sound to my album. I have great songwriters like Lauren Strawn on here, and musicians that supported me from New Birth Church in Atlanta. So I love the project. I love where God took me out of my shell and just placed me in a place.
That's when the magic happens, when you get outside your shell.
You gotta allow God to take you to that place and not allow people to keep you in a box.
That's true.
That's the main thing. Sometimes people see your talent and tell you where you need to be with it, but you have to really be inspired and do the music that you love. So my music is Christian contemporary music, and I absolutely love where God has taken me in my career.
Awesome. Well, let's go ahead and get right into a song. Before we do that, I got here. Our God is Awesome.
Our God is Awesome.
So before we get into it, just tell us a little bit about how that song got constructed, when you wrote it, how long ago was it?
Well, I didn't write this song. This is a remake of an artist called Sherry McGee.
Okay.
And she's a great Christian artist. And David Huff called me and said, I have a great song. And actually, it was another song of hers because we kind of have a similar sound in music. I said, no, this is the one I want because that's the place I am right now. And I think that people need to know that our God is awesome. No matter what we go through, the things that we're dealing with right now in this life with racism or people not feeling that they're accepted for who God made them, created them to be, we have to know that our God is awesome and he can move if we just continue to stand on his word and know that he's God all by himself. Yes.
Amen. Hey, I knew it was the reason God had you scheduled in to come this week.
I
knew you worked that out. I'm already feeling inspired.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
Hey, this is Tami Rose. Our God is Awesome. Is that on My Thirsty Soap? Is it on there?
Yes. It's actually song number 1. So once you put the CD in or go online, definitely download this album. This first song will really take you there.
Let's go there then.
All right.
Spoke the storms and the winds and the sea into motion, made the birds and the dew and the things we've never seen. God of storms and the mightiest heartbeats. He made it all.
He said, turn it up. Said it's low. Oh, I know probably know why. Oh, my laptop was on. Yeah.
Our God is awesome. He is awesome.
I can hear it now.
Our God is awesome. He is awesome. He knows my name. Hears my prayers. Carries all my pain on his shoulders. He wrote the story of redemption. And everlasting love with all power he arose.
Oh, yeah, I have it.
Okay, good.
Conquered death, and he purchased
Hi,
our
Coach
freedom. He gave it all. He gave it all.
My sisters Juanita, Tanya, hi Terry.
What's up, everybody? Thanks for checking us out. Hope y'all having a great day.
Our God is awesome. He is awesome. Our God is awesome. He is
There we go.
awesome.
I get that in there.
To the one who gave up everything, with one voice redeemed we sing. Hallelujah, hallelujah. To our King we lift our hands, for his love that never ends. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Gave up everything, with one voice redeemed we sing. Hallelujah, hallelujah. We lift our heads, for his love it never ends.
It's good feedback.
Yeah.
You really can't really tell how much until after it's finished. Imagine having social media back when you were in college and everything.
So that tells our age, but it's changed so much.
We're back, and that was Our God is Awesome by Miss Tami Rose. I like that
Yes,
song. That
I
was
love
definitely
that.
inspirational. That's a great song to start the album off.
That's right.
That's great. That's
God is
great.
awesome.
I can feel it. And like you said, no matter what you're going through, he's awesome. And I tell you what, this is an exercise that I would encourage any of you guys to do. You can steal it. I stole it from someone else. Is anytime you are going through something difficult and challenging, just sit down for a moment and like write down 5 to 10 things you're grateful for. You'll be surprised.
Oh,
like I don't know if I was at my girlfriend's house or someone's house, and I guess their Apple computer wouldn't charge. He was like, man, all these first world problems.
Wow.
Man, we're really going through it, huh? Our dang MacBook on charge. You know, I'm really going through it, and I got AC and hot water and nice clothes in my closet and nice car, and I'm sitting here crying. Come on, bro.
I'm telling you, that's right.
If you go to a third world country, like, you will see rough. So.
Yes, you know, we're so used to just having it. You know, I was just talking with someone the other day. I said, you've made it through. You've not gone one day without eating. You know, your bills may not be paid on time like you'd like them to be, but you have bills to pay. You know, you have a home, you have lights and water, like you were just saying.
Heck yeah, exactly. Yeah. The small things that we take for granted.
Things, you know, I put this insert for the company I work for, Christus Health, here in Irving. And I love this company because of what they stand for. And our mission is to extend the healing ministry of Jesus Christ. So that just works with my personality. And I remember in the orientation a few years back, I wanted to lift my hand and worship from just the orientation, talking about serving other people. And my director, every 2 weeks, we have to turn in, you know, what our weekly status is. And he asked us to list 3 things that we were grateful for. And he wanted us to also recognize somebody. How often do we recognize people for just the good things that they do? So, and that meant a lot to me. You just said to write down those things. I think we should always list something that we're grateful for every week. Just 3 things.
Yeah, it
that
was the smallest things. Like
things.
I had the most amazing hot shower yesterday after my workout. Like the blessing, like my bed is comfortable. Like this is small things.
Small things. It doesn't have to be big things. But if we start to appreciate the small things. Exactly. You know, then we can be prepared for the big things.
Exactly. So, I agree.
Faithful over a few things. So we have to remember those things to be very grateful.
Right on. So the album, how many tracks are on? Let me see.
There are actually 6 tracks, and then I have a 7th track, which is the reprise music. There's a song called My Hope Is in You, which is the title of the album. And we did a reprise version of just the music, because the musicians, when they got in the studio, the Holy Spirit just came in and the music really takes you there. So sometimes at home I just played an instrumental and it just really takes me to that place. So the music, that the songs chosen are to exalt God, you know, and sometimes we sing songs that are just so condemning to our spirit and you just feel kind of low after the song. So songs have meaning and they'll touch you where you are. So this album really edifies God, his awesomeness, how amazing he is, and that my hope is in him. So I love it, absolutely love it.
Right on. Are you working on any new music right now?
Yes, I am. Actually, I'm most of you here in the Dallas area may know Charles McCampbell. He's from the McCampbell Brothers, the Mac band, Roses Are Red. I know y'all know that song. So
y'all know that.
the Ray may not know it.
Right.
At my age, we know it.
Okay,
so he and I are talking about new music, learning. I wrote a couple songs on my album, but he's really teaching me the skills of writing. Right. And so he's going to be working
a skill in itself, huh?
Yeah, so on my next album, he and I are collaborating right now with some great music. So I'm excited at what God is doing in the future.
He is. So just staying on the topic of the future, you got an upcoming event? Did we talk about this?
Yes, we have. So
what's next?
For November, what I'm doing now is introducing who Tami Rose is and who the ministry is, letting them know about Daughters of Hope and the organization that we have as a whole. So in November, the same event that you came to back in March, we'll do another one of those. And I utilize the Uptown theater here in Grand Prairie. So it's a beautiful facility. Yeah, I like it. And so in the small setting, we host 100 people. So they can seat comfortably, but next door there's a big stage area. So in November we'll be having a smaller event of 100 people invite, so they can get to know who we are and to share that. And in March, in the springtime, we'll host the big event called My Hope Is in God. And at that event, I interview about 3 guests. We have singing, praise dancing. We have a speaker that may speak 10 minutes about something that's motivational.
Okay,
And
I
we're
like
going to
that.
have DeRay Austin and the collab team. We're going to have y'all there. So.
We're going to be in the building. Yes,
So
absolutely.
we want to empower everyone. Now, hope is not just about hoping to have, it's financially empowering people. It's empowering people educationally, spiritually. It's not just spiritually. We have to empower people in every area so that we can be successful.
Mind, body, and soul. Spiritual. You need all of that.
Yeah, we have to really empower our generation now so that they can inspire the next generation. You know, I think my generation
that's what I'm
inspires
talking about.
next.
Yeah, we need to leave a legacy. For people to after. Yeah.
You know, throughout my 50 years, I'll be 50 years old on my next birthday.
Girl, you look good for 50.
Thank great, that's the goodness of God. So through my 50 years, I've seen so many things change. We were just talking about where would we be without internet. I remember when I was in college and my major was computer information systems. So we had this big computer and it was like dinosaur. But my husband just said the other day, and it may tell our age, but he said, you remember you used to have to call and ask what time it was if you wanted the accurate time and the weather? I said, I remember that. And someone said it on TV, which is a show we were watching, and we just started laughing. But now when you ask me what time it is, I look at my phone, I look at my note, I look at my computer. I don't think I even look at the clock on the wall. I think my clock on the wall is for decoration.
That's what people look at. Look at their phone, see what time it is.
So my point being that things change over the years, and we have to be able to empower the next generation. So we have to go out and with Daughters of Hope, I'm connecting with recreating our curriculum so that we can share with other groups to say, this is what our girls are telling us they need to hear. Now I want to show you how to go out and get these girls, what material to teach them and how to sustain them. So we're introducing that process to help other people, to inspire them to go out and get our girls. We can start teaching that generation to teach another generation.
All right, just go ahead and talk a little bit about that more. And I want to ask you kind of like a follow-up question to that as well. But how are you going out to meet these young ladies, to bring them in, to get them to trust you?
Right. So example, on social media the other day, I have you can see my Daughters of Hope connect with us on Facebook at TFHM Daughters of Hope, and I post what the girls are doing. You know, when they're going to school, we post our information from our studies. We have vision board parties, so we connect.
That's great. I like that idea.
I love it. The
That's
girls
dope.
absolutely love it.
Yeah, that's
so
fun.
It's fun too. And so you have to do things that are interactive for them. So, but every 2 weeks, as I mentioned earlier, we have a conference call. We call it we call it the Connect Call. So this call goes out. There was a mother that inboxed me who I don't know on social media just 2 days ago, and she says that this is very much needed, and she would like for her daughter to become part of that. So I sent her to my website to connect with me. She sent me the information. I sent her more information about who we are, and she and I are scheduled to have a conversation so I can learn more about her daughter. And I encourage the parent to get on the call so you can see what we're teaching them about. And we need help. You know, I have a 19-year-old daughter, and I don't see how my mom did it with 4 girls. And it's really difficult, and especially in this time, because you know, they deal with the peer pressure. They deal with, well, my friend is dating at 15, or why can't I date at 15? You know, you deal with those different things with your daughters, and parents are getting overwhelmed these days. And there's a lot of subjects.
It's a village. We need to come together.
It takes a village. And being that you said that back in the day, my mom, when she left and say, don't leave off the street or go past grandma's house, we didn't do that because you had grandma that was going to stop you. We had somebody else that's going to let our mom know. Well, I saw Tami somewhere she had no business being. So it took a village to raise all of us. So now we have to not be so afraid of our kids. I think a lot of parents these days are afraid to challenge our children. So we have to be able to reach out to those resources who can really help and inspire them. So we're very transparent with the girls. I talk about my life. I talk about my mistakes. I talk about my joys, my sorrows. So they have to know that you're actually a person. You know, kids think parents don't understand. You know, they think that, Mom, you've never been 15 before. You've never been 17. Well, we have. And we've gone through a lot of things. And so just being transparent with the girls has worked out great for our group. And when I tell you they're in their dorms at college and they're tuned into the Zoom conference and we can see them on video. And they're laying in their bed and they don't want to let go. They want us to just keep talking because it's, like I said, it's subjects that they inspired. You know, they told us, we want to talk about this next week, and we want to talk about that. So Lady Tanya Benton, she's a great spiritual mentor, and she and I get together, and she writes such a great curriculum, and she teaches
so
our
she actually
girls.
helps you with the curriculum?
Yeah, she helps.
She was at the lunch party too, right?
Yeah, so she spoke on stage, and she talked about how we're going to empower. And she's an educator. She's actually English professor at TCC. And she's also a professor at Mansfield School District. Okay. So she's doing a lot of great things in the city. So, and she's meeting girls every day. So we're getting girls from the school, and they don't have to leave their churches to be a part of Daughters of Hope.
Right.
It's just another outlet that they can say, hey, I want to be a part of something great. I want to grow. Right. So the girls, and we bring them together like the vision party, so that they can, and you would be amazed that these girls, when they sit down and they start to really look at, they really have vision. That's you know, and it's important to ask your child.
I didn't even have that when I was that young.
Yeah, exactly. So they know that they're supposed to have vision. You know, our schools are not failing our children because they are learning a lot of things in school, and our kids are very, they're very inspired by things they see and what they want to be. We just have to show them how to get there. We need to give them that spiritual vehicle or that social vehicle. We have to give them the things, the tools that they need to really get there. They just don't know the how.
Right.
So
that's the hard part.
That's the hard part. How do I do it? Yeah. You know, and if I fail at it, how do I get up and shake it off? And so the scripture I have for Daughters of Hope is, arise and shine. Your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. So we want them to stand up, shake off the dust. Whatever you did, it really doesn't matter. We've all done that. We've been there and done that. So
just don't stay there.
Don't stay there. You got to stand up for things to fall off. But if you stay down, you're going to constantly be covered with things of your past, or people reminding you of your past, of what you can't do. So we teach them to arise and shine. Your light has come. So they're excited about getting together and sharing with us their inspirations.
Hey, this is Oscar Collab Money Talk. I'm joined by the lovely Miss Tami Rose. We're live on the Fishbowl Radio Network, also streaming live on Facebook. I'm just going to keep you a little bit longer. Just a few more questions as we wrap up here. Yeah. Real quick question. The guy who did that chicken salad, is he going to be is he going to be at the next event? Because that's one reason to come. That chicken salad was amazing.
Yeah, you got to come and get the chicken salad. That chicken salad was made by Pastor James McNeil. Okay. He's one of the associate pastors at our church, and he can make that chicken salad. Yeah. So yes. Right. So awesome. Come for the chicken salad.
Right on. Right on. And just following up on the event part, that's something that me and my friends have talked about. Not necessarily putting together, the type of event you're doing, but just some type of event, just to get people out, social. That's something to get around more positive individuals. You had a nice turnout, so just tell me a couple things that you do to kind of market it and get it out there. And I know so much goes into planning and events.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I know your sisters was tired after that.
Look, they was worn out. So what I did, I got on social media, and I don't know a lot of people in the area, but what you have to define is, who is your market? Who can you service, and who can service you? Okay, who can benefit from what you do, and how can you be of service to them? And going back to service, we were talking the other day about Earl Nightingale. One of the main things that he says is that my rewards are in direct proportion to my service, my contributions. Right. Whatever I give, that's what's going to come back.
Yeah, so if you want more, give more. Give more. And it ain't got to be money.
That's right.
Be time.
You got to give more. So that's on my mirror. So you can't just say, let me go find people that can help me do what I'm doing. You have to be able to provide a service for them. So I went on social media, and I connected with the people I know, and I shared with them what I was doing. And I said, I want you to tag me in those individuals whom you feel can benefit from Thirsting for Hope or from Tami Rose Music. And I want to invite them to come, because so I connected with ministers, women who were on the move, business people who were on the move, people who were writing books, and I just people who were in radio, You know,
Right,
radio,
right,
because
yeah.
you need me on your show, right?
Yes.
And I need the airtime, right?
Right,
so
right.
I started collaborating with people here at the Visual Radio Network. You know, Sammy is a great friend of me and my husband's, Ian Miller. And so I started connecting with those people who, the main thing, who you can provide service to and who can provide a great service for you.
I like how you.
Yes. So I went. So I went
unique
into.
way to look at it. Like, who else can I help?
Who can I help? We've got
right.
to. You know, it's about
right.
network.
Yeah.
It's not about you just give me that.
Right. It don't work that way.
So, and then I would inbox that individual with my advertisement, say, hi, I'm Tami Rose, this is what I'm doing. I would love to invite you to come. And we had 100 people invite, and we had a full house. And there were people, 50% of the people I had never, ever met, probably 70% of the people I'd never met.
Now that's when you know you're doing something right.
Exactly. And they came with friends. So you have to have those friends who believe in what you're doing, who are not afraid of bringing people. And one thing that my team and I, we're very adamant about excellence. So when you want to invite people to something that you're doing, just make sure you're operating in excellence, because that gives a lasting experience, a lasting impression of who you are as a business person and who you are as a serious ministry. So the people who came really enjoyed it. I got so much great feedback. I made great connections. So, and it was a great success. So use social media to your benefit. I know you may get tired of being on it, but just connect with those people who you don't know. Don't be afraid to reach out to folks who you don't know. So it was really a great turnout.
I love the fact that you're older and you're on social media and you're adapting to the times and you're changing, you're going with it. You're not saying, you know, this is not going to stop me. If this is the way it's going, that's how I need to educate myself, get my daughter to help me. Or I love that how you're, you know, evolving. You can't just get stuck in the time. You got to learn, constantly learn.
Yeah, time is moving.
It ain't stopping for nobody.
If you're trying to promote a business, and you know, word of mouth is always good, but you gotta get some training in social media. You know, my daughter, she trained me. Mom, no, she would download the apps and she would show me how to use it. So I'm not afraid of it. I'm very mindful about the effect that it can cause. Facebook Live, I had to get used to that, and I just started doing Facebook Live when I did my Walk in Hope. We can talk a little bit later about that. But you have to realize that it's not just for you. And if for us to reach people that God designed for us to reach, we've got to go outside of our walls. So there's no way I can get through the DFW and touch all the people that God wants Thirsting for Hope to touch. So I have to. God said that I would speak to nations. I can't speak to nations here in Arlington, Texas, just talking to churches. I have to get on the waves. So I think internet radio is awesome. And what God has blessed you with, this platform, is going to really take you into, it's going to direct you to those people that God has designed to hear your message.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. So yeah, go ahead and talk about the Walk of Hope.
Yes, so Walking in Hope, and I'll talk about this bracelet I wear. You all may see this a lot on my social media. About 3 years ago, God told me to buy 1,000 bracelets, and the bracelet simply says, "My hope is in God," Zechariah 9:12. And God says in the scripture, "Return unto me, O you prisoners of hope, and I'll restore all that you've lost." So he told me to send out 1,000 bracelets to 50 states. We're now in 40 states. So if you know anybody from Nebraska, Idaho, places like that, let me know. And I mailed those bracelets out. And we started on social media. We were doing like selfies saying, "My hope is in God, Mississippi," or "My hope is in God, Texas," or Arkansas, or whatever. And people started inboxing me saying, "Send me those bracelets." I would send them out, and they started giving reports about how it really just blessed their lives. And what I use it as is a constant reminder for me of 3 things: that my hope is in God. No matter what is going on, I know that I have to keep my hope in Him. My hope can't be in my job, my money, my car, my house, people. It's got to be in the Creator of all things, which is in God. And also it's a reminder of me, of my purpose and my vision. And I got on yellow today. It doesn't really match, but my outfit got to match with my bracelet. This comes first for me. So my vision is in front of me, which is my purpose. And it's also to know that I'm empowering, I'm serving other people as well. So my Walk in Hope was inspired. God told me to walk in hope for people who needed hope. You know, it was putting Tami aside and saying, okay, I'm going to walk for someone else. And that's what we have to do. We have to walk for someone else at times. So on Thanksgiving Day, God told me to walk in hope every day into the new year. So I would go to the gym. I would get in the park. If I flew out of town for my job, I would hit that gym as soon as I got off the plane.
Mhm.
Whatever I had to do it, I don't care what the weather was. I think it was like 20 degrees one time here in Arlington, or less than that. And I found my way to the gym.
Oh.
I even, on Christmas, I couldn't find a place to walk because I waited too late to get out.
Mhm.
There's a young lady at a hotel. I went in. I said, look, I'm not staying here, but I'm
Mhm.
walking in hope, and this is what I'm doing. Can I
Yeah.
please use your gym?
Yeah.
She gave me a key to go and use the
Really?
gym.
That's what's up.
Yes, so God would make a way if you really stay focused. So anyway, I started walking in hope for people who needed hope and inspiration. And I started doing Facebook Live, and it was my first time doing Facebook Live. And I was like, I can't do Facebook Live. My niece was like, Titi, you have got to do it because people got to know you're really walking. I said, you know what?
Yeah, that's
You're
true.
right.
That's true.
And when I tell you, every day I would hit that track, and I turn out, my heart would be beating so fast, and I would turn on Facebook Live, and God would just calm my spirit. I would give a scripture every day, and I would walk in hope for what was going on. I would watch the news and see what was happening, walk in hope for people in the world, for healing, for families, for relationships, for finances.
Mhm.
And I did it for 38 days straight. So what the walking process was putting your hope into action. You can have hope all day long. That's cute. That's pretty. But until you put action to it,
Yeah.
my walking was an action of my hope. It was just to show you. And as I walked, I was getting sore. It was days I didn't want to go.
Right.
It was raining. It was cold.
Uh-huh.
And I didn't want to do Facebook Live. But as I walked, the soreness was my body strengthening up. So when you're going through your hope, or you're trying to get to what your hope is, there are going to be days that you don't want to do it.
Right.
There are going to be days you don't feel inspired.
Uh-huh.
There are going to be days that somebody's going to hurt your feelings. Someone's going to say the wrong thing to you that day.
Right.
And you may have financial problems, but just know that trial, that moment is just strengthening you. So the more I continued to walk, my body wanted to walk. I would get up every day and say, I got to go walk.
Right.
So you're going to want to move forward with your vision if you just press forward and go through the strengthening process. So that's what my walking was to encourage others that it gets better. And when I got to day 38, I felt like I could run
There you go.
at day 38.
Let's go.
So,
Let's get it. Come
so
on.
that was my walk in hope process, and it was really great. It really empowered and inspired people to continue to walk in hope. But
Some of my cousins
putting
doing
action
it.
to
Was they doing it too?
Yeah, people in
Really?
Mississippi, different states. Where say
Okay.
I'm walking in Florida. One lady,
Yeah.
she walked for a long time. So we're gonna start that up again pretty soon, and just join me. I'll be posting
Yeah.
on Facebook Live and letting you know, and just start walking hope for your family, for your children, for your goals, your inspirations, and just know that putting action to it, God hears you,
Right.
and He's going to respond to the things that you're hoping for.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, what's your Instagram?
Yeah, so you
give me
can
a social. Yeah. Where can
my
they
social
find
media.
you?
They can find me definitely at my website, thirsting4hope.org. Thirsting.
That is in my link if you're watching us on Facebook. If you're
Yes.
listening online, that's thirsting4hope.org. Go ahead.
Yes, and you can go there, find out everything you need to know about the ministry. We're on Facebook, My Hope, Thirsting for Hope Facebook, Daughters of Hope Facebook, TFHM Daughters of Hope Facebook. I'm on Instagram, so just look for Tami Rose. You'll find me on social media.
Okay.
And just FYI, my website, I built that website.
You did?
I did it.
I did my first one too.
Look,
Come
I'm
on, you're an
telling you.
entrepreneur.
So when you have a passion for something, just do it. My pastor preached
Do
a
it.
series about just do it. Let's just do it.
Mhm.
So if you desire to do something, God will start to give you that inspiration. And I went to
Right.
squarespace.com and I
There
said,
you
okay,
go.
let me figure out what I need to do. So
Right.
I hope you enjoy my website, but I built it myself. I'm
There
really
you go.
proud of that because I could give it the feel of what I see. And it's in process. You know, I just want a site that I can constantly add pictures, visuals, videos, and things, a site that could grow. So I'm really proud of that website. So
Right on.
definitely visit me. Send your contact information if you want to hear
Yeah.
more about the ministry, if you want to join Walk in Hope with me. If you want your daughters to become a part of Daughters of Hope, definitely reach out and we'll definitely respond to you within 24 hours.
Yes. So one more question before I do my rapid fire questions. So one more question. This word has come up multiple times during our conversation. We've been live for almost an hour now. I don't even feel like it.
Wow.
But the word that's come up a lot is vision. So where do you see the vision for your music ministry, your mentorship? Where do you see the long-term vision 10 years from now?
Oh, 10 years from now. So right now, so over 10 years. So we will have a radio show because God said I speak to nations, so I've got to get it on the wave. So we'll do a
You got to move close to the microphone.
Uh-huh.
You get on there, and
Yeah,
they gonna hear you.
I-
And they gonna hear you.
Yeah, so you got to step out of your comfort zone.
There you go.
So radio, we definitely want a TV show. So we want a TV show where I have a platform where we interview those guests, so I can introduce new music, artists we were never ever seen before, and so providing that platform for people to share their stories of hope. Daughters of Hope, I see us with radical around the country. Daughters who are on fire for Jesus Christ, who are secure in Him and knowing who they are, and they're starting to become leaders. So in 10 years, the girls who are part of Daughters of Hope, they're going to be great leaders. I believe that with the teaching that we're giving them. And we'll also have Sons of Hope. So God is going to be opening up different avenues of hope. We'll have financial seminars. We're not here sitting just because God has vision plans. So we're going to be empowering people all over the world. So I
definitely want to stay. We gotta stay connected. We're gonna stay connected.
We're gonna stay connected. We're gonna stay connected.
Right.
Yeah, and Tami Rose music is gonna be live.
Yeah.
I love it. So I'm
That's
excited.
Another part. There's so many moving parts.
Moving pieces, and they all are inspiring hope. We're headed the same direction, but God may give you different pieces of your ministry. So just season is important too. You have to know when to focus more on certain things.
Right.
So right now, my music is all together. My music and Thirsting for Hope is my focus right now. So
how do you? I know I said that was last one, but how do you find the time to manage this, your family life, and you're married and your job?
Yeah.
It's a lot of.
It's a lot of moving. It's a lot of balance. Luckily, my daughter is out of high school, so that was the biggest struggle for me when she was in school. My job, I travel a lot, but I find time every day. You have to find time every day. If it's just 30, 40 minutes, I journal a lot. You have to put down your vision, so that when that time comes, you can look back. If God speaks something to me, I just jot it down. I don't try to analyze it, fix it, apply it to right now, and make me feel a bit later. But every day I put a little bit of time into what I'm doing, into the ministry, into goals that I have. So just really balancing that time every day, doing a little bit here and there really works. I have a loving, understanding husband who's very supportive. And y'all may know him, Ian Miller. So I promote him a lot on my Facebook page. He's with CBS Radio. He's with the Oasis Smooth Jazz. He's here at Bishop Radio Network.
Smooth jazz.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of great things, and he supports. He believes in what I'm doing, so he helps. Yeah, having balance in your relationship, having an understanding is not a me thing. It's about us sharing and supporting each other. So he washes dishes, he'll wash clothes. He helps me to really balance things out. He'll say, "Hey, let's don't cook tonight. Let's just do something." So you have to. As long as a person sees that you're committed to what you're doing, I think they'll support you and really be there. So that's what I've had in my marriage, which has been very successful for us, supporting each other and helping each other balance the things that we're doing. So
Man, I feel so blessed today.
Well, I am blessed to be here. Thank you.
Me too. So before I let you go, I got to do our rapid fire questions. Just super fire questions. You tell me the first thing that comes to your mind. One musician that you would love to work with.
CeCe Winans.
Favorite sports team.
Kobe Bryant. I'm sorry.
Hey, Kobe Bryant.
Kobe Bryant, wherever he plays, that's my favorite.
Right.
sports team.
Okay.
So it's always been the Lakers.
Okay, there you go.
So I have favorite players. I'll say
right. That's not my mom. She got favorite players.
Yeah, I like LeBron.
Okay.
But Kobe was my favorite player, so wherever Kobe played, that was my favorite.
Okay. Next place you and your husband want to travel to?
Hawaii.
Hawaii.
Yes.
All right. One artist that you really love their music that's a non-gospel artist.
Layla Hathaway.
Okay. All right. The next meal you're going to cook.
I'm gonna ask my husband that one. It's gotta be grilled. So
something grilled.
Something grilled.
All right. What size though?
What?
What size though?
Oh, what sides?
Gotta have some veggies in there.
Definitely veggies. So mixed veggies, broccoli, squash, mix, and pretty sure I'll have some rice on the side.
All right. If and when you get $1 million, what type of car would Tami Rose buy?
What type of car?
Yeah, what type of car would you buy?
You know what? I'm a country girl. So just for me, I've always wanted a white Mustang drop top with pink leather seats.
Pink leather
With
seats.
a T on the. That's so. If I get $1 million, I want
That
that
Mustang,
first.
the drop
That
top.
Mustang drop top white with pink leather seats. That's what
Hey.
I've always wanted.
I dig. Hey, give
So
it
and then
yeah.
I'll get the other stuff after that. But if I
Okay.
just
Right.
what
That's
I
kind of how I am. Like when I started making real money, I want a big old truck. Like big truck with some big tires.
With multi-millions, I can buy whatever I want to have, the top line car. But you want to get first what you really desire to get. So that white Mustang drop top.
There you go. There you go. And we're not going to get there unless we're providing service, lifting up others, empowering others.
Yeah.
That's what her ministry is about. Thank you
Right.
so much, Miss Tami Rose, for joining me today.
Thank you.
I had a
Thanks,
great
everyone.
time. I definitely felt blessed. Thanks for inspiring me and giving me some positive words of encouragement. Thanks for
Awesome.
always supporting me. A lot of times I'm doing my show, I see you chime in or you watching the inside. That really means a lot that you
definitely.
appreciate.
Every chance I get, I tune into you. I'm very excited for you.
Thank
You know, our men doing it, and you are doing it. So you have my support, and whatever we can do at Thirsting for Hope, let me know.
Oh, we're going to
And
make it
definitely
happen.
our events, you have a platform there.
Thank you so much. I'm
definitely.
looking forward to the next event. This is Tami Rose. Make sure y'all check her out. iTunes, social media, right there. That's her CD. Y'all pick it up. Yes, that's all I got. Thank you so much
Thanks,
again for
everyone.
joining me. This is Austin Collab Money
Thank
Talk.
you,
We're going to
Dre.
take a quick break. I'm going to be back. I'm going to talk about a few different ways that you can reduce your monthly expenses. Who doesn't want to save more money, right? We're going to go get this photo op, and we'll be right back. We're live on
Right.
Pittsburgh Radio Network.